On a wild hog hunt, just one sudden charge from the brush can end everything. Feral hogs aren't just aggressive, they're a real threat to the hunting season and to the safety of the entire team. But these hunts aren't about thrill alone. They carry a greater duty, protecting local families and the livelihoods of the community. Will this hunt succeed? Stay with us until the end to find out. Before the first light touched the treetops, we were already deep in the woods, hoping to spot the massive shadows lurking somewhere inside. Every step was careful, every sound a warning of danger waiting to strike. Time passed with no sign of the giant hogs we were searching for. But luck showed up eventually. Nick's signature shot dropped the target cleanly. It wasn't the biggest hog, but it was a solid start. Enough to kick off our mission to stop this growing threat. A victory is a victory, but we knew more hogs were hiding ahead. We pushed on, scanning every shadow, every gap between branches. One by one, the hidden hogs were exposed and taken down. With years of field experience, identifying them was no longer a challenge. Our fight against this destructive force was proving highly effective. While the rest of the team tightened the perimeter, I stopped in the middle of the kill zone, waiting for the next move. The pressure was closing in on the hogs. They had nowhere left to run. This was the moment. Shadow after shadow burst out of the brush, but each one was instantly intercepted. Not a single hog escaped the kill zone. This wasn't about proving ourselves. It was about protecting the village below the mountain, keeping the locals safe. But after a few hours, that strategy stopped working. The hogs were too intelligent. They pushed toward the edge of the forest where our defenses were thin. We quickly shifted focus. Those dark silhouettes slipping along the tree line were now in our sights. But their speed was incredible. Even at full effort, we still missed a few that managed to escape. Tension rose. The fight had just gotten harder. The moment Nick heard the report, he rushed into the deep woods to chase down the escapees. With his instincts, his skill, and his lightning-fast reactions, could he bring the cunning survivors under control? A beautiful shot cut through the trees, confirming once again why he's the team's top closer. There's a reason Nick always gets the final call. While Nick handled his end flawlessly, we moved toward a new location. Around late afternoon, this area becomes a common crossing path for wild hogs. Every footstep was calculated, every angle checked. When the target finally appeared, it had no chance against our tight firing line. A storm of well-placed shots lit up the woods, turning the whole area into a battlefield of controlled firepower. And then, silence. Cheers and relief echoed through the forest. Another victory against a fierce and relentless enemy. Peace finally returned to the land. This journey ended with sweat, grit, and courage. Every shot carried meaning, protecting farmers, families, and the livelihood of the community. The trails winding through the forest are not just paths, but hiding spots where wild boars seek refuge, evading human pursuit. They are clever, always veering off into narrow routes, leaving faint traces as if to challenge anyone daring to track them. Hunting wild boars isn't just about finding prey, it's a battle of wits, where the hunter's skill and patience are tested to the limit. Will we be able to conquer them? Follow along on this difficult journey ahead. We arrived in Evros early, gathering to discuss the plan for today's hunt. The team scattered, heading to their designated positions to search for the target with the quickest pace. As we moved, I remained focused, carefully observing, knowing deep down that the wild boars would appear here. Suddenly, a strange noise broke the silence, and the familiar strong scent filled the air. Then, the target appeared. I tightened my grip on the trigger. With swift consecutive shots, the prey was brought down instantly. In that moment, all the effort and tension faded away, and I knew this journey had only just begun. Thanks to their sharp instincts and meticulous training, the hunting dogs quickly picked up the wild boar's trail. They worked in perfect harmony, scattering to surround and drive the beast toward the trap we had set up beforehand. Every bark, every stride was a calculated part of the plan. When the prey emerged, a series of shots rang out, decisive and accurate. The wild boar, though desperately resisting, couldn't escape the tight circle formed by the hunting dogs. The result wasn't just a trophy, but a testament to the blend of wild instincts and human intelligence. Signals from another path rang out as warning bells, and swift footsteps moved quickly toward that area. The thick underbrush in this terrain is the perfect hiding spot for wild boars, but it's also the place where their traces are easiest to track. Every step I take is cautious, my eyes scanning continuously, ensuring no movement escapes my watch. As expected, a shadow darted past, quick and silent. A burst of shots rang out, sharp and powerful, cutting off any escape route for the beast. It could only fall where it thought it was safe. In the wild, only alertness and skill can determine the victor. I was certain that the thick brush along the path was hiding more prey. Relying on our experience and specialized gear, the team quickly initiated a systematic and careful search. After a few minutes, the tracking device sounded an alert. It was nearby. I immediately moved to intercept, every sense heightened, my finger ready on the trigger. The moment the beast appeared from the foliage, the shot was fired, hitting its mark. The threat was eliminated, and the area was secured from the destruction of these wild creatures. The afternoon sun was beginning to set as we continued our thorough sweep, ensuring there were no more hidden creatures lurking. After a long stretch of movement, the sound of the dogs once again drew my attention. A quick scan revealed the shape of the prey gradually becoming clear. Through the scope, I took careful aim. The moment it was in the crosshairs, the trigger pulled lightly. Perfect! Another mark for today's journey. But the hunt wasn't over. To the east, sharp sounds erupted one after another. An accurate and vivid record of the chase. As the sun set, the team began packing up to head back. Suddenly, the prey, which had been hiding so well, appeared once again. Despite the exhaustion of their bodies, the fighting spirit in each of us flared up stronger than ever. After a few minutes of battle, the sweat, the tension from the entire day were finally rewarded. The prey fell, once again proving our strength and patience. Every fall, South Georgia ignites with fierce wild boar hunts. These wild beasts don't run away. They charge headfirst, fierce, destructive, and fearless. Thomas's team sets out fully equipped and determined to stop the rampaging monsters tearing through the land. But on these rugged hillsides, every plan can collapse in the blink of an eye. Will they keep control of the situation, or will they become the hunted? Follow the entire journey coming up next. With experience from countless hunts, Thomas knew exactly when wild boars were most active. They had already set their traps and were waiting. The morning light filtered through the trees, footsteps rustling nearby. As Thomas's eyes locked onto the scene, a boar slowly wandered into view, searching for food. Without hesitation, Thomas raised his rifle, his finger tightening on the trigger, sweaty with anticipation. The decisive moment had arrived. The bullet tore through the air, striking the beast dead on. The first shot echoed, signaling the official start of the battle. On the opposite hillside, Jack was scanning through his binoculars when he suddenly spotted something unusual. Oh! That silhouette is charging full speed, ignoring everything around it. Without hesitation, Jack squeezed the trigger decisively. After the sharp crack, the beast collapsed to the ground. The threat was stopped. Security for the farmers secured. It took Thomas 15 minutes to reach the mountain summit. From there, his view stretched across the entire valley below. Thomas immediately raised his rifle, which jolted with a loud crack. But the prey wasn't easy to bring down. After several consecutive shots, the mission was finally complete. The hillside returned to its familiar calm, and once again, Thomas proved why he's always on the front lines in the fight to protect this land. After wrapping up the hillside encounter, Thomas quietly moved down the trail below. The sound signaling the wild boar's presence grew louder and clearer. Arriving at the path, he carefully identified the direction the beast would come from, then took position, waiting for the decisive moment. Finally, his patience paid off. Thomas fired instantly as the monster suddenly charged. He ended its plans with a precise shot, showcasing the skill and calm confidence of a seasoned professional hunter. Before Thomas could even celebrate the last shot, he was already face to face with another boar. The moment it charged out, his finger squeezed the trigger without hesitation. The bullet flew true, shutting down any chance of escape. What do you think about that shot? If you were in Thomas's boots, would you have reacted that fast? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. No time to rest. Another signal rang out not far from Jack's position. He moved in immediately. As soon as he spotted the target, Jack took it down easily at close range. The door to survival slammed shut for this destructive beast. The hunting dogs quickly moved in to complete the final task. There were too many wild boars here, big, aggressive, and fearless. But with our seasoned expertise, they swiftly took control of the situation, taking down each one cleanly and efficiently. $150 million. That's not a number from an economic report. It's the damage that wild boars, the most aggressive invasive species, cause to Georgia's agriculture every year. They don't just destroy crops, they wreak havoc on ecosystems, threatening native species like the gopher tortoise on Ossabaw Island. They are a pandemic. That's why we're here to protect the economy and restore the balance that nature has lost. Join us on this journey to discover what it takes to fight back. At 6:30 a.m., just as the first light of dawn was breaking, we began our hunt. This is a true battle of wits because wild boars are incredibly intelligent. Their sense of smell is a natural alarm system. Because of this, we have to move against the wind, using every patch of brush as cover, turning patience into our most powerful weapon. Not long after, a moving shadow among the brush came into my sights. With a single shot, the first wild boar froze, stunned as if bombarded with a series of questions. Who am I? Where am I? Then, it collapsed to the ground, its senses fading, marking the start of today's hunt. A smooth and promising beginning. The deeper we ventured into the forest, the more oppressive the air became. Suddenly, a massive muscular wild boar appeared. Wow! The thought of all the delicious dishes it could make crossed my mind. It charged forward, trying to escape. But with a quick squeeze of the trigger, Leon's shot held it in place. Forever. The lurking threat was neutralized in an instant. One bullet for the destroyer, and 1,000 sprouts of greenery preserved. The elevated position gave David an absolute tactical advantage. He wasn't in a rush. He simply observed, waiting for the perfect moment. As soon as the wild boar charged into the clearing, it turned into the perfect target. The sound of justice rang out. And from that moment, one less enemy would plague the fields. Watching it fall, he felt a sense of relief, knowing he had preserved the peace for this land. As the sun climbed higher, we left the hillside and ventured deeper into the trails and meadows. Here, the visibility was limited, turning the hunt into a test of reflexes and courage. The distance closed in, and with it, the danger multiplied. Under the scorching midday sun, as we moved along the trail, we spotted signs of a target hiding nearby. John, the team's marksman, immediately took position, locking down the suspected area. Just as expected, the moment the target emerged from the brush, bang! The game of hide-and-seek ended swiftly. The threat to the crops was eliminated with precision and speed. One shot, straight and true, took out the nuisance for good. Meanwhile, on this side, a confrontation just as intense was unfolding. The wild boar charged like a runaway truck across the meadow, its sole target being Thomas. And just as the distance between them closed to only a few steps, a sharp, clean shot rang out, instantly controlling the rampaging beast. A life or death standoff, inches away, a heart-stopping moment. What do you think of my teammates' handling of the situation? As the day drew to a close, we remained vigilant. On the red dirt path, Leon had chosen the perfect ambush position. And then they came. Not just one or two, but a whole herd. Leon fired relentlessly into the moving formation. Amid the storm of bullets, many of the destroyers fell, bringing an end to a perfect hunt and leaving the fields intact. From the hillside to the trails, every threat has been neutralized. Everything went according to plan. This success belongs to no one individual. A sincere thank you goes out to my teammates who stood by my side, to the trust of the local people, and especially to the support and authorization from the US government that allowed us to operate within the bounds of the law.
In the southern outskirts of the United States, wild boars are not just wrecking crops. They pose a serious threat to people. With lightning-fast charges, razor-sharp tusks, and fierce temperaments, these beasts have struck fear into the hearts of farmers right on their own land. Faced with this reality, Thomas's team set out determined, armed with firearms, modern gear, and fearless spirits. They're ready to take on the creatures known as the terror of the Greenwoods. For them, each hunt isn't just a survival challenge. It's a mission to restore peace to this land. Will Thomas and his crew tame these cunning monsters this time? Stay tuned to find out. Starting out in a dense thicket, Thomas's team held their breath and waited. There was a target fully in sight. Calm and steady, Thomas raised his rifle, locking in on the mark. Bang! A sharp crack echoed as the bullet pierced the beast's body. They dropped on the spot, no chance to fight back. A perfect start to the hunt. But will the journey ahead be just as smooth? Or are tougher challenges lurking behind every leaf and bush? Continuing the hunt, it wasn't long before Thomas spotted a group of wild boars gathered, unaware they were right in his sights. From a distance, he raised his rifle, finger tightening on the trigger. Bang! The shot rang out, sending the herd scattering in every direction. The hunter's instinct kicked in. Thomas didn't miss a beat, unleashing a rapid series of shots as smoke curled from the barrel. Bang, bang, bang. Each round fired in quick succession. One. Then two boars dropped amidst the chaos of fleeing beasts. Then came the moment of truth. Thomas took careful aim and squeezed the trigger one last time. A fatal shot pierced through another boar, went down in the tall grass. What do you think? Thomas's skills are sharp, right? But make no mistake, today's hunt was no easy feat. Elsewhere, Thomas's teammates lay in ambush as planned. Just as predicted, two fleeing boars charged right into their line of fire like walking straight into the trap. Without hesitation, sharp gunshots cracked through the air. Bang! One was hit. It struggled to drag itself forward, but had no strength left to escape. The other panicked and spun to flee, but it was no match for the hunter's cold, unwilling gaze. The scope locked tight on the target from afar. A decisive shot rang out. Bang! The beast collapsed, sharing the same fate as its fallen companion. Determined to wipe out every last beast, Thomas's team pressed on through the night, moving to a nearby field. Under the cloak of darkness, using infrared scopes, they spotted a large herd of wild boars closing in, threatening the livestock. Bang! The opening shot rang out. Target number one was down. Thomas swiftly tracked another moving target through his scope. Steady and precise bang. The second boar tumbled and went down. Shots continued to fly, controlled and calculated. One by one, two more beasts fell. See that? No matter how thick the darkness, nothing can shake the resolve and skill of a true hunter. Moving deeper into the night, Thomas silently signaled his team to hold their breath. Up ahead, another group of boars was busy rooting around. Calm and focused, he raised his rifle, eyes locked on every subtle breath of his targets. Then came a shot that'll leave you amazed. Two bees stood shoulder to shoulder, almost just half a step apart. Thomas squeezed the trigger. Bang! The bullet tore through them both in one clean pass. Both dropped simultaneously, not a sound escaped. After a long night, the team decided it was time to pack up and head back. Just as the hunt seemed to be wrapped up perfectly, a soft rustle echoed from ahead. A lone dark figure came into clear view. Without hesitation, Thomas raised his rifle and squeezed the trigger. Bang! The shot rang out, breaking the stillness of the night. The beast faltered, then dropped, no fight left in it. The hunt has come to a close, and the team returns with a substantial haul. More importantly, peace has been restored to this land. This victory is a testament to the hunter's skill, seamless teamwork, and the dedicated support from the local authorities. Tonight, the community can finally rest easy.
As harvest season approached, fear began to spread across the village. A monstrous wild boar had been ravaging fields, destroying not only crops, but also entire livelihoods. This wasn't just a hungry animal, it was a force of chaos. In the face of this threat, we were called in to take action. This was my first time joining a team of professional hunters on such a dangerous mission. Could I stand my ground, or would I be the first to fall? Let's find out. By 5 a.m., We were already on the hunting truck headed straight toward the Moravia fields. Everyone was fired up, heading into position, according to the plan. With years of experience, the hunters quickly identified the patterns and paths of the boars. While I was still scanning the area, Jay spotted the target. A quick adjustment, and the first shot rang out. A 200-kilo beast had no time to retreat. It went down instantly from a precise burst of fire. It all happened fast, but it lit a fire of determination in all of us for the journey ahead. I continued tracking my targets, and then luck hit. A boar appeared in the open. I followed the steps just as I'd practiced. Boom! A shot more accurate than I expected. Before I could lower my weapon, another figure emerged. I held steady, confident, and took the next shots with calm precision. Victory was ours. Even as a rookie, I felt proud to have pulled my weight and completed the mission flawlessly. Meanwhile, Jay caught sight of a herd grazing at the field's edge. No stranger to the hunt, he acted fast, dropping one after another with near-perfect accuracy. What could have turned into a wave of destruction was stopped before it even began. Without hesitation, I moved steadily along the eastern edge of the field. Suddenly, a herd of wild boars appeared clustered right in front of me. I adjusted the scope, pulled the trigger, missed. The entire herd panicked and bolted into the pine forest nearby. I immediately radioed Jay and the others. The response was quick, fluid, professional, like muscle memory. In seconds, a new formation was in place. We pushed on. No one wanted to let this chance slip. Jay led the charge, navigating the rough terrain with confidence, following every faint sign left behind. When the target appeared again, his finger tightened on the trigger. One clean final shot. The boar dropped. We had stopped it from escaping and saved another part of this land from destruction. Jay wasn't finished. He moved deeper into the forest, knowing the thick terrain made the perfect hiding spot for stragglers. And he was right. With sharp instincts and years of experience, he flushed them out. Every shot found its mark. Boar after boar went down. The battlefield shifted entirely in our favor once more, Jay commanding like a seasoned general, every move precise and unstoppable. After that win, Jay led us forward. Not a single moment wasted, every sense on high alert. And it paid off one by one. Targets fell under my sights. Clean shots, no hesitation, no escape. The final call came through, mission complete. But more than just a victory, it was relief. For the villagers, the nightmare had ended. Their land and their peace was safe again.